Okay, so it is now day 8 of the 40-day fast. So far, let's see, I started with about 199 pounds, and I don't know, since I got things going, really brought it down to about 186. Just checking that out this morning. Over out here in public around people, since I fumbled the ball last time, so I figured I'd do this more in public. But 186, so what's that, 13 pounds? So, hey, if you want to lose 13 pounds real quick, uh, just don't eat food for a week. Obviously, go to a doctor if you have to go check things out. I had to go to a doctor to go do this, and I'll likely go back to the doctor again just to see that I'm not going to accidentally end up with something that fucks up my stomach, fucks up my vitamins, or there's a little thing called refeeding syndrome, which leads to heart failure. It's not good. If you eat too much, you get a little bit of an insulin spike after after eating, and your body's trying to take vitamins to do that, but there's no vitamins to go take. So basically, there's no electrolytes left for your heart to beat, and then boom, you're dead. So kind of a morbid topic, but it is what it is. So definitely check with your doctor before doing this. Obviously, you can see my energy levels are still good. A lot of what I'm doing here is I am going to go rely again on my primary energy sources. Yeah, I'm just connected to things like out in nature, uh, connected to people I care about. Um, what else? Uh, making food. Making food. It turns out that's a very good one. I made my girlfriend a delicious quesadilla yesterday. It looked really, really good. I did a lot of fancy restaurants, so I learned a thing or two from doing that. So that's just like uplifting things. So anything that's uplifting, I discovered that the truth actually is very energizing. To say the truth about things gives you a lot of energy, which is really interesting because if you're saying one thing which is not congruent with reality, it takes a lot of extra energy just to kind of hang out with there and just be like, it's costly. It costs something, to go lie about reality about how things are. And I don't mean about things that we usually consider lying, but I'd point you in the direction of things that you think you're telling the truth with, but really you're not. It gets kind of expensive, energy wise. So that's been super helpful. Um, let's see what else. Um, definitely, definitely feel some of the demons coming out. I feel myself kind of being drawn back into some of those artificial sources. Things like caffeine, things like internet content, video content. So I just doubled down on that and said like, okay, let's turn everything black and white. Like, if I'm still hooked on it, I need to like really find a way of shutting it off. So got that going. That's been a little bit helpful. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, the primary purpose of this is not for weight loss. It's just for kind of spiritual insight, so I can reveal some things over here. The biggest insight so far has been getting yourself hooked on like legitimate life serving authentic energy sources, and that's been a huge lesson so far. So I'm gonna keep digging into that. I heard something on a documentary recently how someone who's a master at their craft. I think it was Ichiro Suzuki. They were asking like how he found baseball, and he said like I didn't find baseball, like baseball found me. And that's pretty neat because I think that we're built in a certain way where certain things are going to switch on for us, are going to resonate with us, like with a wine glass. You go rub the top of it, and it resonates at a certain frequency. And it turns out you could also sing at that same frequency, and then the wine glass starts to vibrate, which is pretty neat. But I'm subscribing to the belief that I think we're all chosen for a couple things, and it's just a matter of going to find out what those things are, and then allowing them to choose us back. So It's kind of a, because I'm super indecisive with this. I'm just a high performance human in a lot of different areas, but I'm super indecisive when it comes to, choosing like a specialization or career path. Hell, it might be this. I don't know. But I like to think of the instance that, one of my old mentors gave me. His name is Scott. He owned a coffee shop out in Nashville, Tennessee. And, he would say, like, if you got a phone call, he looked at your, if you looked at your caller ID and the phone call said, God, right? Would you answer the phone? A lot of people would think, great, that's awesome. I could ask so many questions, get so many answers about like the meaning of life. Or it could be like that South Park episode where, they get one question from God and then, essentially the answer is, where do babies come from? And then God gives the answer and it goes away and all the religions are all pissed off. So, um, would you pick up the phone? Everyone thinks like, of course they would, but let's think about this, okay? If you look back to some of the older stories, he's asked people to do some pretty fucked up things. It's like, how about you go take your son to the top of the mountain and slaughter him, in service of me? Like that's kind of weird and nasty. Eventually you're saved at the end, or things like, hey, like, why don't you go build a big ass boat? Why don't you go build a big ass boat and put a bunch of animals in it because I don't like the way things are going. I'm just gonna wash everything away with the flood. Like it's a pretty serious endeavor. Like picking up the phone, you're taking up on a serious endeavor. And he said, well, I did pick up that phone, and he told me to go make a cup of coffee. I found that to be pretty poetic. I just gotta think to myself, like, to what extent am I choosing things versus like there are some things I just do very, very, very well that other people value very, very highly. How can I go find some of those things? Just put myself in a position where those things can really choose me. So you can obviously see that my energy levels are still pretty good even after uh, roughly about 8 days of no eating. Yes, I'm drinking water. Yes, I'm doing the salt thing. Started to get a little bit of a heartburn from going too heavy on the salt, so I kind of stopped it for a day. What I discovered is that if you don't do it for a couple of days, you start getting cramps. Like right now, even walking around, I'm getting cramps in my legs. So that tells me like, okay, cramps means like low on sodium, low on potassium. Got to go get my salt solution and start consuming that. Or I just got to go stretch out my legs to make sure that they're getting the right electrolytes. So whatever that life path is for you, maybe it's not so much about you choosing it as it is it choosing you. If it's not clear what that is yet, you got to do a little bit more exploring. I've kind of made a rule with myself that, I was going grocery shopping the other day. I said, like, yeah, like, there's a lot of these foods I typically like. Like, I don't know if I want to, like, have the same meal twice ever again. Because there's so many different foods out there, so much to explore with it. There's not enough time. So I want to take every opportunity I can go get to go try as many different flavors as possible. Think and dream up of many different dishes. If I'm going to be, taking the culinary route. But I got to explore it just because I don't know yet. I have no idea. I've been to a lot of countries around the world. Met a lot of people, taught a lot of clients around the world for a couple of years of my life. But that exploration process is key. I'm 29 years old right now, so it's kind of getting to be game time. Whether you're 40 or 50, if you're those ages, like now is the game time to go get things sorted out. I gotta go put myself in a position where those things can go choose me, and it just makes the decision very, very easy. So I'm still on that crusade, gonna make it happen. About to get to my barber shop for a haircut, but this is Tom signing off for day 8.